Welcome back, Toastmasters and guests. We are now in the third portion of our meeting, the evaluations, and this is where we get feedback as to how we can improve going forward. Today's manual presentation was done by none other than Angela. Angela, the purpose of your presentation was for you to reflect on your growth during the completing of this entire part, the innovation leadership part. The purpose of your speech was for you to share aspect of your growth during completing this part. Angela, I believe you met those criteria. You definitely met the purpose of your presentation today. You shared with us how you grew from level 1 to level 5, what you learned that, hey, the person who evaluated my first speech in level 1 must also evaluate it again so they can see if I improve or not. You learn that you can use the same story or presentation in different meetings because you have different audience. I believe one of our guests asked about that earlier. So you relate your entire experience to us during this speech, and we all grew from it, just as you grew doing this part. Your storytelling technique, your narrating of your experience, excellent job. You are excellent storyteller. You excel in that aspect of your presentation. What I want you to work on, what I will challenge you to work on, is vocal variety. Throughout your presentation, you appear to be monotonous in your tone. I knew you were excited when you learned new stuff, but we did not really get that from your voice. Yes, you were animated when you got up and, oh, I learned that I must stand up and do my presentation, and you stood up and did your presentation. You explained to us what you learned about PowerPoint, not to have it cluttered with too much information or pictures. Excellent job there, but the vocal variety, that is my challenge for you. That is what I want you to work on going forward, vocal variety. You have improved with PowerPoint. From what you did earlier in previous meetings to now, I can clearly see the improvement in the use of PowerPoint in your presentation. I will also challenge you to go to the next level with your PowerPoint and use it as a slideshow. There's an option in PowerPoint where you can use it as a slideshow and simply click for it to move within the different slides. That's my challenge for you going forward. I want you to work on your vocal variety and to challenge yourself to continue to improve in your use of PowerPoint. For your scoring, for clarity, spoken language is clear and easy to understood. 5. That was easy for us to all agree on. Vocal variety, this is my challenge for you. Use of tone, speed, and volume as a tool, I scored you at a 4. Eye contact, effective use of eye contact to engage the audience, I gave you a 5. You were looking at the screen, we all felt connected to you. For gestures, I scored you at a 4. Yes, you stood up and explained to us that you wanted to stand up and speak while doing your presentation. However, I would have liked it to see you more animated when you were expressing what you learned and how you learned. How did it make you feel? Give us that in your voice and in your body language. But excellent job with gestures again. I gave you a 4. Audience awareness. Demonstrate awareness of audience engagement and need. I scored you at a 5. And I scored you at a 5 because this was useful information. We have several new visitors, first-time visitors in our meeting today, and they're all curious about what Toastmasters is, what the pathways are, what is required of you, and you met that need. You engage the audience with that need. Comfort level, appear comfortable with the audience. Yes, I did not sense any nervousness in your presentation. Excellent job there. Interest, engage the audience with interesting, well-constructed content. Again, I scored you a 5 with interest because, again, it was engaging information. It was information that was pertinent to the audience. Excellent job with this presentation, Angela. Guys, a round of applause for Angela. Excellent job, Angela. And now I will like to ask our accountant to give us her report. How well did we do with our crutches today? What crutches do we have? What should we look forward going forward? Toastmaster Anya, can you give us the accountant report?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Edward. Uh, I think I should just stop counting Angela's R's and Ums because there aren't any. So instead, I should just focus on what she's speaking because there's no point counting something which is only going to end up at a zero at the end of it. So even in her impromptu speech and in her prepared speeches, there were no fillers at all. And personally, I use a lot of ands and so's. So what I learned from Angela is that it's okay to pause. There's no need to fill the pause with words. And, I already mentioned I use ands and so's, and Othman used some ers, and Serene used ers and ums, and Bonnie used ums. But then first time speakers usually do use fillers, and it's all right. That's it. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Edward.
Awesome. I like to give this story, my origin story of me saying right. I, in my first impromptu presentation, said right 17 times within 3 minutes. At the end of every sentence, I would say right. In the middle of the sentence, I would say right. It was my crutch word, and I did not know I was saying right because I said it so often. But thanks to Toastmasters, I have removed that crutch from my speaking pattern. And that is the importance of the counter for us to remove those crutches from our speaking pattern. Excellent job, Toastmaster Anya. We know what to look forward to going forward. Guys, as it relates to time, in the impromptu session, I see that we were all at or around the 2-minute mark, which is excellent. That is what we aspire to be concise and within time. If you did not make the 2-minute mark, don't worry about it. As you continue to practice, you will improve. Excellent job as it relates to time in the impromptu session. And for the manual presentation, Angela, you had 10 to 12 minutes. You were clocked at 13:46. Should you do this presentation again, you might want to shave off a minute. But as it relates to time, excellent job, guys. Excellent job. Today's theme was to never give up. And this is key as we pursue our ambitions, whether it's acing a class at school or getting the promotion at work or changing our career. We must never give up. Nothing worth having comes easy. There will always be obstacles and roadblocks. We must learn to go around the obstacles. Angela told us when she first made a cake and it sunk, she turned it over, she shaved off the sides, she went around the roadblock. That is what we must do. We must never give up. We heard that when you are in front, you lead your class, and some new guy comes around and takes your throne, takes your position, you don't throw in the towel, you don't quit school, you get better. You don't give up. And no matter how daunting the task is, whether it's moving to a new country where you have no family and friends, you do not shy away from the challenge. You do not throw in the towel. You seize the opportunity. And that is how we succeed. We look fear in the eye and dispel it. We look at the roadblocks and we go over them, we go around them. We do not give up. Toastmasters and guests, I encourage you all to be persistent and to never give up. Before we close, our first time guests, I would like your feedback on what you thought of our meeting today. Serene?
Sorry, my feedback on.
The entire meeting.
Oh, I think it's been great. I think it was really efficient, and with the breaks, it was I mean the breaks were appropriate. Also, yeah, it was an enjoyable experience. The presentation was interesting and insightful. Yeah, overall an enjoyable experience.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you next week. Bonnie, feedback on our meeting today?
Yeah, it was really interesting to see Angela sharing about her pathway so that I can understand more about how the journey works.
Okay, and we look forward to having you visit with us again next week. Again, every Friday, we meet here on Zoom, 9:30 Singapore time. Guys, we are at the end of the meeting, and again, I encourage you to never give up.